A university in the heartland of America holds a sex workshop in the name of education that most people would find hard to believe. I spoke with conservative cultural commentator Todd Starnes about the story. Todd, there's an unbelievable story out of Indiana about a sex fest and workshop at the University of Indiana in Bloomington. What do you know about that?
Yeah, way too much, unfortunately. This was a pretty terrible story. And there are a lot of things that happened at this sex festival on the campus of Indiana University that we can't even really talk about on television or in front of just about anybody. I mean, it's just really horrific, some of the things that were happening. I wrote about this in my column the other day, and I said basically they were doing things that would have made the citizens of Sodom and Gomorrah blush. We're talking about, quite frankly, government sanctioned pornography and filth on a publicly funded university campus. It is absolutely outrageous.
Well, it is so disturbing. Like you said, we almost don't want to even talk about it, but we think that parents need to be warned about what's happening on college campuses in the name of education. Todd, why do university leaders think something like this is higher learning and okay? Do you have any insights with that?
Well, a lot of these festivals, and it's not just Indiana University. These things are happening on publicly funded universities across the country, and many of them are done through LGBT-friendly organizations, and that's how they get away with a lot of this stuff. And the reality is that many of these university administrators are far leftist. They're also what I call sex and gender revolutionaries, and they're using these kinds of festivals to, quite frankly, indoctrinate students into what is, quite frankly, degenerate behavior.
There's a lot wrong with this story, and what is the lesson here for parents and students?
Well, the lesson is that we need to expose this kind of nonsense, and then we need to take action. The only reason we really knew about what happened at Indiana University is because a student actually posted it and exposed all of this on social media. So here's what needs to happen now. Every single taxpayer, every single alumni at Indiana University needs to get fired up. They need to contact their state lawmakers, and they need to demand that this university lose any kind of state funding they have that goes towards this kind of activity.
Let's talk big picture now. What does this say about where we are as a culture?
Well, I wrote a book about this called Culture Jihad: How to Stop the Left from Killing a Nation. We are in the throes of a massive culture war, and what happened at Indiana University is a classic example of this. But I also have a message in my book that when good people, good-hearted people, take a stand together, we can facilitate change. A couple of years ago, the University of Tennessee in Knoxville faced a similar situation. State lawmakers got involved, and they actually threatened to defund the university unless they stopped funding this debauchery. And sure enough, guess what happened? That's exactly what the university did.